Hey, rail fans and model railroaders, welcome to another episode in our TrackLink series on getting back on track with Steve.
And Roxy. Last week, we scratch built some incline sets, going from the peninsula to the upper level. And we did that to save some money and to save our Woodland Scenic sets for this week.
So that means this week, we're going to take those Woodland Scenic decline sets and we're going to install them from the peninsula around the corner onto the lower level.
To accomplish that, we'll glue down our decline sets. We'll layer some plaster cloth over the top to cover any gaps so that we can lay track and ballast later.
So like to say every week, let's get this work done. So this time we decided for an adhesive, we're going to use a Woodland Scenic's foam tack glue. It's just like a white glue. It has no solvents in it, so it won't damage any of the foam board or styrofoam of our decline sets.
Before we started gluing things down, we went ahead and dry fit all of our inclines so that we could mark out on the bench where we wanted to put things. It made it much easier to glue things because we could follow the lines.
So then as we applied glue, we just spread it out between the lines, and then we could grab the next section of our Woodland Scenic's decline, put it into place, and then we used T-pins to fasten it down so that it wouldn't move at all. So now you can tell that I've been relegated to sit on the bench in a corner and watch Roxy do all the work.
World's best supervisor.
So one thing that we decided is with the pins holding everything down, we didn't need to weigh it down like we did with the foam board. However, we did have one mishap with the end piece getting down to the foam board where it broke off when I was moving it around. But we're able to pin that down in place, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. But I went ahead and put some weight over the top of it to make sure it would stay good and flat.
Here we're feeling around, pulling all the pins. Takes more than you'd think it would.
We also found that the Woodland Scenic's foam tack glue really set these in place. These are really solid. I'm going to have a heck of a time if you ever decide to remove them and do something different.
It also dried clear, so we had good results with that.
So then we cut these strips of plaster cloth. We decided to cut shorter strips so that we could make our way around these corners. We wanted to make sure that we butted each piece against each other and not overlap, so we wouldn't end up with any bumps in the planing surface for the cork. To apply the cloth, we used a warm water bath and a quick dip. Roxy was able to put them in place, smooth them out with her fingers, and get them all placed down and just work her way down through the declines.
This will keep our ballast from falling into the styrofoam.
It's really quite an easy process. It's a little messy. We ended up with a lot of water on the foam board we had to clean up. But I think this is going to work pretty well, and I'm pretty impressed with how well this plaster cloth goes down and how easy it is to work with.
It took a little more than one roll to do both declines.
These rolls were 4 inches wide, 15 foot long. And here we are moving over to the right-hand side of the layout and going to put the inclines in coming off the peninsula here. In order to make these inclines start out at the right level, with what we had with the glued together foam board, I had to cut a piece off at the right place on a part of the decline set. So we're going to have some oddball pieces we have to glue in here. As we continue on, it's just a repeat of the other side. We're going to apply the glue between the lines. We're going to place our decline set in position. And then we're going to put adequate numbers of pins to hold them in place, hold them down while it's getting cured. And of course, on this side, we're going to stop short of the swing bridge because we have a plan for doing a solid wood incline that's going to be level all the way across the swing bridge. That's going to allow us to account for the arc we need to cut into it.
More pins.
And it seems this side is dried up pretty solid too. So we got to do the happy dance for that one. So now Roxy's going to let me try to put the plaster cloth on. And what I found with my fat fingers, it was a little more difficult for me to do than Roxanne. I kept having trouble with it sticking to himself and wrinkling up. But I managed to fumble my way through it, and I think it came out okay.
It came out pretty good.
To me, this is really getting to be a fun part of the layout where I'm really starting to see the vision I've had in my head start to come to life a little more, and I can really see what it is I want to accomplish in the long run with this layout.
Here's our final view. They're nice and smooth. We took a sanding block and smoothed it out just a little bit on the top. Make sure all the joins are nice and smooth. It looks pretty good. Well, there you go.
Well, we did manage to get our declines put in place on the left and the right hand side. We glued them down, and then we went ahead and put our plaster cloth over the top, so that way when we put our cork and our rails down and ballast, the ballast doesn't just fall down through the cracks.
And next week, we're going to focus on getting our track plan all transferred to the bench work so we can start laying cork and track on the outer loop, completing the circuit. Then we'll move on to the inward area.
So as usual, thank you so much for your support, all your great comments. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and smash that bell so you'll be notified of videos the next time we drop one out. In the meantime, thanks for joining us here on Getting Back on Track with Steve.
And Roxy.
Of course. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Well, there you go. We gotta go somewhere from there.
Oh, good Lord.